How does ownership prepare your child for an Ivy League school?
I have a son at Stanford and a daughter at Harvard.
Today we'll share with you how we did it.
I'm Alema.
And I'm G. And this is Manuia Life. If you haven't already noticed, Alema and I are huge football fans. It started when Alema played football for Brigham Young University and carried on with our sons playing football, but more recently when Alema was recruiting for Brigham Young University and the University of Utah. One thing sports has taught us is that you have to take ownership, meaning no one else can do the work you need to do. And one story I feel that tells this very well is my husband when he played football in American Samoa.
Just to give you a little background, I grew up in Hawaii, and one day my dad said he was going to move us to Apia, Western Samoa. And that sounded really nice until I got to Samoa. And my world had changed pretty much. I went from taking out the trash, maybe washing the car in Hawaii, and then overnight my job turned into working on a 60-acre plantation. Plantation was my life. I did that before school, and I did that after school.
But wasn't that good for the guns, hun?
It was good for the guns. What it led to was someone saw me playing basketball, and from that point forward, I was invited to come play football in American Samoa. Mom said she'd let me go. I'd go to school all week, play my football game on Friday, then I'd catch a boat, a ferry, that would take me from Pago Pago Harbor all the way to Apia Harbor, and that was about 8 hours.
Wait a second. So what you're telling us, Alema, is that you would go to school. After school, you'd have football practice. And then after that, you'd play a game on Friday, catch an 8-hour boat ride from American Samoa to Apia, and then do that all over again week after week?
Yes. That was my agreement with my mom, was to head home and be home on the weekends, and then catch that ferry all the way back home to American Samoa to begin school on Monday.
Wow. That's quite a bit of ownership for just a young guy.
Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to get from Apia on a plantation, planting taro, all the way back to the United States to play football. But I was pretty persistent with my workouts. I was persistent in doing the things that I felt I needed to be ready should an opportunity come my way. I was resolved to take ownership of my situation, despite there wasn't much chance I was going to ever get a chance to do that.
Like you say, you were ready, and so that preparation lead to an offer, right, to play for a Division I school. How did that happen?
Well, I was playing in Samoa high school and was able to get an offer from LaVell Edwards. He actually came to Samoa. LaVell had never been to Samoa before. He actually comes to Samoa and
the great LaVell Edwards, made his way to Samoa.
He offers me and brings me to Provo to play football. There is no way that should have happened.
Yeah.
But because it did happen, and I was faithful in training and making sure that I was ready, I got the opportunity and took advantage of it.
Man, I gotta tell you, I love hearing that story. And one of the favorite phrases that I would remember Alema saying is that his journey to Brigham Young University took him through a plantation in the island of Samoa. And so what a great tribute to our heritage and our culture, and actually to all the great players, right, that came out of American Samoa.
But I was very happy that I decided long ago that I'd be ready if I got a chance.
And that's kind of what we're talking about today, is taking ownership no matter what your situation or circumstances are, that you do the things you can do to prepare you for that opportunity. So we actually have a term in our family that defines this ownership quality, and we call it Straight Dawg. And you ask any of our children what a straight dog is, and they'll start smiling because they know exactly what that means. But maybe Alema could share with us kind of how we defined it.
Straight dog's it's an urban slang. We've used it for years. Straight dog is someone who has a bit of savage in them. They've got some bite in them. When a dog is eating its food and you try to take its food away,
you don't want to mess with that dog.
It'll get angry and it'll bite you. And it has that kind of connotation to it. But it's very determined. It's resolved to protect its own and to pursue a path that is very direct to get the things that it needs. And it's not backing down.
I kind of love it that our kids honed that feeling of knowing this really matters to me and I'm going for this. Whether it's going to work or not, whether there's going to be an obstacle or not, this is my time and this is what I'm going to do.
And they break down all obstacles or barriers that are impeding their progress. That has no bearing because they've already decided in here what they're going to go do. And so and it's really a mental thing rather than any kind of physical thing.
Yep.
It has everything to do with what
on.
you decide, who you are, what's important to you, and how you'll go after it. Yeah.
We had some kids, it was like, okay, turn on the switch. And then some kids, it's like, okay, can you turn off the switch now?
Yeah.
That's good.
Back down now. Back down.
Yeah, I remember our daughter. So, she had made a commitment a while back to not play on Sundays. And I know this is a question a lot of kids go through. Growing up in a faith-based environment is, do I play on Sunday? For her, she had committed that she wasn't going to do that. And it was a decision she made. She actually was trying out for the cheerleading squad that year. And cheerleaders had to cheer on Sunday because of the way their formations were. They were building these pyramids and people were identified which position they were taking. And so if you didn't cheer on Sunday, the pyramid would actually fall down, right? And so, it got to the point where she had to make that decision. And I said, you know what? Do what you feel is right. And me as a mom kind of stepping back, hoping, right, that your child would make the decision you would want them to make. But I was grateful to see that she could make hard decisions. And she said, Mom, I'm not going to cheer. And I said, okay. But she said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play tackle football. And I said, okay, how's this all going to work out?
I'm not going to cheer, but I'm going to be a football player.
But she's going to be a football player. And the reason for that was football players could opt not to play games on Sunday. They had a schedule of Saturday games and Sunday games. And so the Saturday games she was up for, but the Sunday games, the coach kind of knew where she stood on that. And I got to tell you, she kind of surprised a lot of the cheerleaders as she ran by, donning her pads and her helmet with her long black hair, flowing out of her helmet. And she owned that position. I know many practices we heard those pads cracking, and it was her reaching down, lifting up another teammate, asking them if they were okay. And of course they're like, yeah, I'm good.
Leave me alone. You can't hurt me.
The funny thing was she was playing left tackle and her brother was alongside of her playing left guard, and he didn't like that much either. But I think that just defines, right, the straight dog is just making a decision, sticking with it, moving forward, no matter what the obstacle or the options are.
I think a lot of it too, we call a straight dog. You're okay with who you are. It's okay to be you.
Right.
And you make no apologies. You just go about doing your thing and all the things that inspire you and make you feel good and push you towards doing good and being creative. Those are good things. And the things that you're not about, that's okay too.
I agree. You know, when our son was applying for Stanford, and he was able to spend his first year there, it was definitely an adjustment. Many people in those environments will not understand who you are, where you come from, or even maybe appreciate your story.
They'll even question, why are you here?
But what my son did share with our younger daughter, who's going to be attending Harvard, is that it doesn't matter if they don't know, but it matters if you know. And I think that is the character of a straight dog, like Alema had mentioned. People may know, they may not know, they may not care, but it's all how you carry yourself. It's the ownership you take and the preparation that you prioritize that really helps you define yourself in that moment.
Yeah, what Alema was saying was, if you don't know who you are, they'll have no respect for you. But if you know who you are, even if you're opposite points of view, could be liberal, could be conservative, it don't matter. If you know who you are, they're cool with you because they respect that. But you got to know who you are.
If you like what you heard, don't forget to click on our next video, Relish the Grind.
And don't forget to click on subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video.
Manuia.